If you're new to using Airbnb, just going on the website alone can be so overwhelming. There's so many options, and how do you even know if you're picking the right place? Well, I'm here to help you. I've been using Airbnb for 10 years, and in this video, I'm gonna be talking about 15 crucial mistakes not to make if you're new to Airbnb, and also some of my favorite tips and tricks to help you pick the perfect place for your trip. If you're a total newbie to Airbnb and you have no idea where to start, definitely check out this video, because in this video, I break down everything you need to know as a newbie on Airbnb and how to book your very first trip. So let's just jump into it. We're gonna make this super quick. The first mistake is not knowing what you're looking for. So Airbnb has a ton of different types of stays. Right now, Airbnb is really known for their unique stays, so you can stay in anything from a treehouse to a yurt to a tiny home. So definitely make sure you're searching the unique stays and looking at all your different options. But if you're looking for something a little bit more traditional, like a home or an apartment, there are options within that as well. You can choose an entire place where you have the entire apartment or the entire home to yourself. You can also choose a private room, so you may be in someone else's home or someone else's apartment, but you have a room that is just for you. And then you can also choose a shared room where you're sharing that room with someone else. So for example, there might be a room with 3 beds and you're taking one of those beds. Knowing what you're looking for up front is gonna help you refine your searches, and it's also gonna save you a lot of time from sifting through every single search result. So the second mistake kind of goes in line with the first mistake, which is booking the first thing you see. We don't do that. So when you search for something, Airbnb is gonna spit out some options. And of course, they're gonna spit out what they think might be best. As you keep refining your amenities, refining what you're looking for, that's gonna give you so many more results. So the third mistake is not properly checking out the amenities, the check-in policy, the fees, and the cancellation policy. So all in all, you really need to be looking through the entire listing. So when you're looking at an Airbnb for say a week or a weekend, anything shorter than a month, it's gonna give you a price per night. That price isn't the price that you're gonna pay when you book it, because there are also added fees that are gonna be added to that. So you wanna make sure you're looking at the total price of everything. There are service fees, there are cleaning fees, there are sometimes extra guest fees. There are also some extra taxes that can be added depending on the city and the country that you're booking it. You also wanna make sure you're checking out the house rules. Every single listing on Airbnb should have a list of house rules. The next Airbnb mistake to avoid is not taking advantage of everything that Airbnb has to offer. So I think that if you're new to Airbnb, it really would be beneficial to just take some time to get to know the website, get to know the app. For example, Airbnb has something known as Airbnb Experiences, and this is really cool for anybody who's looking for a different and unique experience with a local on their trip. Cooking classes, photography classes, make traditional cocktails from that city. It's also a really good thing to explore for any solo travelers out there who are looking to get to know a couple of people. Another cool thing that Airbnb has are Airbnb neighborhood guides. I love looking at their neighborhood guides, and I think that if you're looking to stay in a particular neighborhood in a city, or you haven't made up your mind yet, the Airbnb neighborhood guides are a great resource. What listings are there in that neighborhood, and you can kind of get a feel of whether you want to stay there or not. The fifth Airbnb mistake not to make is not booking with a Superhost, a verified stay, or an Airbnb Plus. So Airbnb has something known as Superhost. So Superhosts are hosts that meet a particular standard on Airbnb. I have heard people say that they don't think that it's that worth it, and that it really doesn't matter if you're booking with a Superhost or not. I think it depends on you and what you're looking for. For me personally, I like to book with Superhosts because I think they have a higher response rate. I'm a solo traveler, and I want to make sure that I'm staying with people who are really vetted. If you are someone that's new to Airbnb, you don't have a ton of stays under your belt, you're still trying to figure out the app and the website, then I would highly suggest staying with an Airbnb Superhost. That way you're gonna have a little bit more extra comfort and ease knowing that you're dealing with someone who has met that criteria in the eyes of Airbnb. Another thing that Airbnb has are verified stays and Airbnb Plus. These are verified places and stays. They're looked at in person. I don't know a ton about Airbnb Plus. I will put more info about it in the description box below. Emphasis is not on the host itself, but rather on the place. The next one is not reading the reviews. So if you take anything away from this video, it's this. Read the reviews. The reviews are gonna tell you everything you need to know about a place. The reviews is where people really spill the tea. Because here's the thing, the host obviously is gonna put their best foot forward. They're gonna share all of the highlights and the amazing things about their listing. The truth of that stay always comes out in the reviews. If you're looking through the reviews and you see that there's a common problem that keeps coming up, and that is going to indicate to you whether that's something that you can handle and that you're okay with, or you need to move on and find another place to stay. I have 100% completely disregarded listings because I've read some things in the review that doesn't sit well with me. The next mistake is compromising your must-haves. We all have must-haves and we all have things that we're like, this is a deal breaker. Don't compromise on what it is that you're looking for. So if you know that you need AC, internet, then you want to make sure that you are picking places that check all of those boxes. When you're looking for your Airbnb, make sure you're looking at the amenities, you're checking those filters. Don't feel like you need to compromise on something major just because a place is cute or just because a place might be a little cheaper than someplace else. Because most of the time it's rarely worth it. If you're enjoying this video so far, then definitely please feel free to like it and subscribe to this channel. Also, if you love social media, then definitely check me out on TikTok. I love TikTok. There are tons of travel tips there. The next mistake is not comparing prices with hotels and other accommodation. So I gotta be honest, as much as I love Airbnb, sometimes Airbnb is not worth it. Sometimes I look in a city and I look at the Airbnbs, especially in high demanding popular areas, and the Airbnb prices are just as competitive as the hotels. So I just end up staying in a hotel. It's all gonna depend on your needs as a traveler, what you want in a stay. The next mistake is not booking in advance, especially when we're talking about a popular destination. Sometimes these Airbnbs can get booked up really fast. And this kind of goes hand in hand with the mistake I just mentioned, comparing prices, because you wanna give yourself enough time to look at all of your options for accommodation and make sure you're getting what you're looking for at the best price. So of course, things come up and Airbnb does have instant book, which makes it really easy to just book something right away if you're in a pinch or bind. The 10th Airbnb mistake to avoid is not reaching out to your host before you book and not keeping in contact with the host while you're staying there. So once you found a place that you really like, that you really think you're gonna book with, I would go ahead and just message the host. And also when you're looking at the list of amenities, you don't just wanna roll with it. If they say that there's a gym, for example, and that's very important to you, it's your opportunity to reach out to the host, get to know them a little bit more, and ask any questions that you have about the gym. Ask them, is the gym on site? How big is it? What equipment do you have? Do I need to pay for it? And messaging a host or contacting a host is also a really great way to get to know them a little bit more. You figure out how fast they respond, how they respond, are they detailed? It's also remember that they're vetting you, but you're also vetting them. And if you have any lingering questions that aren't answered in the reviews, in the listings, in the host profile, then you should definitely reach out to them. Reaching out to the host also applies to when you're actually on your trip. Definitely don't feel like you're burdening the host, or if something is broken that you can fix it yourself, because that is what they're there for. And I've definitely stayed at Airbnbs where the host will reach out periodically or they'll reach out daily just to make sure you have everything you need. So a lot of the times hosts are already doing that on their own, but if you have an issue or you have a problem, then please feel free to message the host. And sometimes if you have to meet the host and check in person, I've also stayed at Airbnbs where the host will walk through the apartment. They'll really go into detail about everything I need for my trip. So again, it all depends on the host. And next Airbnb mistake not to make is taking communication and taking things off the app. So not only is this against Airbnb policies, but it's also not safe. Now I'm gonna say this, but there are exceptions to this mistake and to this rule, and I'll give you an example. For those of you that don't know, I used to live in Barcelona, Spain. There was a period of time where I came to the States for the summer and I had moved out of my apartment that I was living in. I came back to Barcelona and I was looking for a new place to stay. It was a room in an apartment. I really got to know the host. As I was talking to her, said to me, if you can't find a place, I can take that Airbnb listing down and you can just stay in that room and be my new roommate. I didn't actually end up doing that because I did end up finding a place with a friend of mine. But for me, I feel like that's an example of when it is okay to maybe take things off the app. For the most part, this isn't something that you want to do. You want to keep all your communication on that app because it's documented that way. And especially if you're a solo traveler, it's just safer to do that. Now, sometimes you will exchange numbers with a host and you can text them if you have an issue. I think that's okay, and I think that's pretty common, but most of the time you want to keep your communication and all your transactions and everything like that on Airbnbs. I do know that there are people who will book a place to stay and they'll stay extra time and they'll end up cutting out the middleman of Airbnb and paying the host directly. I know this is super controversial. Please don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what happened. The next mistake not to make is not checking out the place as soon as you get there. When you get there and you have checked into your Airbnb, the first thing you want to do is check everything. Make sure it's clean, especially if you are a solo traveler. You're making sure that the windows and the doors can lock, that they are locked. It's what the listing said it was going to be. Another thing you want to do when you get there is take a ton of photos and videos. This is going to be important, especially if you need to file a report or a complaint with Airbnb. I did have an incident a couple of years ago where I booked an Airbnb, got to the Airbnb, it wasn't clean, there was mold in the bathroom, there was all sorts of stuff. I took out my camera and I took video, I took photos, I collected all of the evidence because when it came time to stating my claim with Airbnb to get a refund, I had no problem at all. I got a full refund because I had all of that documentation in place. You just never know what might go wrong or what might happen, and you want to make sure you're protecting yourself. Next mistake is not being a good guest. Be a good guest. When you're messaging the Airbnb host, you want to make sure you're kind and you're respectful. Leave the place as you saw it. You're not leaving your trash everywhere. You're not wrecking things. Be the kind of guest that you would want to have if you had an Airbnb. The next tip is not having a plan B. So you don't need to go all out on this. It is nice to have a plan B. Say a hotel that you had looked at before or another Airbnb that you starred, just in case you get to your Airbnb and you have an issue or it isn't what you thought it was or it's not clean, stuff like that, and you need to book another place fast. And this is the same for hotels too. Then I have a couple of bonus tips that I want to give really quickly, that when you're searching for Airbnbs, a good tip is also to check that same destination and it's those same Airbnbs in an incognito window, because I have found in the past that sometimes if I'm looking at a destination, I've been looking at it for a while, sometimes I find that the Airbnb prices bump up. And I will open it in an incognito window and see that the prices are like a couple dollars more expensive, couple dollars cheaper in the incognito window. Similar to what I was saying before about comparing prices to hotels, I think, you know, it's nothing to just open an incognito window and check. Another quick tip is to use the wish list feature. You can put together a list of places that you have looked at that you think might be a good fit for you for your stay. Having them all in one place is really convenient and really does help you narrow down your decision and make a choice. It's also great because you can send that wish list to friends and family. So if you're going on a girls trip, you're going on a family trip, and you're in charge of booking the Airbnb, you can collect the Airbnbs that you've looked at, send that to your friends and family, and they can take a look through it and say, yay, nay, whatever. So I'll see you guys next week. Bye.